How's it going? I'm Ryan. Today I'm going to go over the one trade that I took on NQ. Market's only been open for about 30 minutes, and we already hit a trade and we're done for the day. So we'll go over this quick win, how I kind of spotted it, how I managed it, and yeah, we'll just kind of talk over it top to bottom, and this should be a quick one. So first of all, coming into the day, what I'm looking at, I had some zones that I drew on Sunday, when I was preparing for market open. So on ES, we have some support zones to the bottom that have not been touched. I guess I could draw one here as well that I kind of forgot about. But really, we're looking for like demand areas that haven't been retested. Maybe some strong liquidity in those areas. We have the previous day high and low. These are the green and the red boxes, and then we have our pre-market range here. Now we're looking at ES currently, and you see ES is rejected off the top of that pre-market range heading down. It's still range bound. But if we pull over to NQ, NQ is a little bit of a different story. NQ, same thing. We were within the previous day's range, but different story. We got a breakout of that pre-market high, and then we got a continuation almost all the way up to previous day high, and we had a little bit of a pullback. Probably make our way up there, especially if we see any sort of bounce or recovery on ES. I think that will propel us higher on NQ as well, as they've kind of not been moving in tandem, obviously, because NQ is much stronger. But when ES has been showing some sort of life, it really helps NQ push higher today. So let's talk about the trade. Our system's pretty easy. We look for the same thing every single day, and today we got it. So what did we look for? We're in the pre-market range. We're watching between ES and NQ. We want to see a break out of the pre-market range. We don't care if it's up, we don't care if it's down, whichever way it wants to break. Then we look for some sort of close on a higher time frame, a 15-minute or a 5-minute, indicating that we have pushed out of that range and closed in a given direction. And then at this point, we look for some sort of retest of a key level or an EMA. And it looks like my streaming software is bugging out, but we're going to continue on. So that's what we got today on NQ, right? First 5-minute candle of the day, extremely bullish. We have our EMAs all fanning in a bullish pattern as well, right? That's the 13 is here, the 48 is in the middle, the 200's here. They're all kind of spreading out and fanning in a bullish pattern, indicating that there's strength, right? There's higher highs, higher lows is creating this EMA pattern. Likewise, if it was to the downside, it would be lower lows, lower highs creates that EMA pattern. So this is just a quick way to kind of gauge the trend, right? So we have a break and close on the 5-minute above this key level. And then what we do once we have that, then we're looking for a pullback to this EMA and that pre-market high are kind of in the same region. So we're just okay with this general area being an area for retest. So what I did is once we got that confirmation, I went like this, I set a buy limit, and then I just kind of adjusted that limit with the EMA. Now, when we started to pull back, the EMA was somewhere right in here, and you can see on the 5-minute where I entered right here. That turned out to be an absolute sniper entry, as we only had 5 points of drawdown, maybe. We entered right here at 802. My target was these kind of little highs, not quite the high a day, but the open and close on these 2-minute candles right here at 839. You can also see that first target right here on the 5-minute. 839 was my first exit. I got 6 contracts and I sold 5 here, so I took the majority of my profit right here. Not looking for a break of high a day, but just kind of a return up towards that area in case we didn't get complete follow through. The very next 2-minute candle, we pushed all the way up and we hit it. So that was a very quick initial trim for me, and that part of the trade went really smoothly. From there, I have 1 contract left, and with 1 contract left, this is my runner. This is what I want to see. If the market is going to continue in a direction, I want to kind of maximize what type of returns I can get with that single contract, right? That single contract going for 10 points isn't going to do anything to my P&L, but if I can get an 80, 100 point run on a single contract, that's a pretty significant contribution with very minimal risk, right? So we raise our stop loss to break even at this point once our initial trim is hit here. And then I targeted, and you might wonder, why did I sell here and not our next zone, which is a few points higher? And I'll talk about that. So I'll pull up the 15 minute. And basically what I did is I like to look at the opens and closes of candles. Those mean more to me than candle wicks. And so what I noticed is we have this zone here, but then we also kind of have this level right here, right there. And you see we just wicked right off of that, right? And then if I pull up my profit loss, or excuse me, geez, my 5 minute chart, you can see that's right where I took profit. So I just looked at the 15-minute chart. I saw, okay, we have a pretty strong kind of area here that could also be a potential area of rejection before we get to a previous day high. And so I placed my target here, as I thought that that was the first likely place to target in terms of price hitting that. And it worked pretty perfectly. I think we go higher, you know, we're showing more bullish price action. So I don't think that this is going to be the high of day necessarily. But if you look at where I got out, it was pretty much absolutely perfect. So just being able to kind of read charts and understand some of those things helps in targeting areas. Yeah, and so basically as we were making higher highs, higher lows, when we made a higher low, I would just kind of trail my stop below that low and just let the thing run. And we went all the way up and hit my profit. Take profit for my runner at 874, and that was about a 72 point win. Yep, it was a 72 point win for $143 on a single contract, bringing our win on the day to $506, just under $507. Really solid. I've only taken I've taken 3 trades on these accounts. My first trade was break even, no change in profit and loss. My second trade was a $300 win. This is my third trade. This is a $500 win. I didn't mention my risk, so I'm gonna backtrack. I entered here, and I like my risk to be like 15 points or less on these, right? I shot for 37 points on my initial trim. My stop loss was like 11 points. Okay, so I entered at 802. My stop loss was right at the 91. It was 91 down here, somewhere down here. So I had like an 11 point stop, that's pretty tight on NQ. 11 points isn't much on NQ, but I want to be wrong quick. If I'm wrong, I want to take a small little cut. I don't want to just get bled to death. And so yeah, I like to, if I can get a nice entry, which I felt like I had here, entering right around this pre-market high, then I'm willing to keep a tight stop. Because I feel confident about where my entry is and what price should do according to what I want. And if it doesn't do that, then I want to be wrong fast. And so we had an 11 point stop here. My stop was at 791. Like I said, I like my stop to be around 10 to 15 points. Because if I can target, you know, I usually target about 30 points is generally what I want for my first trim. And then that leaves me a 2-to-1 risk to reward if I take my stop max of 15 points and my smallest like take profit of 30. That's a 2-to-1 automatic. Today it was like closer to a 3.5 to 1, and I mean really close to a 4 to 1. So and then if you count the runner as well, you know, we made $500 risking maybe like 150 or something like that. 170, something like that. So pretty solid, well over a 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio on that trade. And that's really what it is just being patient for a good setup, and then managing risk to reward. And then if the setups work and you manage your risk well, we're on trend in the right direction. The true test is going to be how I handle my first loss, because I will be taking a loss on these accounts at some point, right? I don't want to be negative. I don't want to seem like I'm not positive and not confident in my ability, but nothing's 100%. So eventually we will take a loss, and really that's been the issue. It's trading isn't the issue. I can trade. I can do this. I've done this hundreds of times, and I'll do it hundreds of more times. I can do this. My issue is going on tilt when I take a loss, and so we're cognizant of that. It's in the old brain. And that will be the key. And I think if I can manage my risk well and just understand it'll happen as long as they're small and manageable, we're going to keep moving in the right direction, which is up to the right. That's all I got. Like I said, thank you for watching. I'll be streaming I might not make it Wednesday. I'm not going to stream Thursday because I'm going to be camping. Wednesday, I'm going to try to trade in the morning. At least like the first hour, maybe. We'll see. We'll see about that. Basically, develop an easy plan. Don't make it complicated. Make it easy. And stick to it and practice risk management. And that's really all it is. And then don't go on tilt. And that's kind of the last little piece of sauce for myself. If I can continue to do what I'm doing right now and avoid bad losing days, we're doing well. I've proven it time and time again. I can grow an account. I've also proven time and time again I can destroy an account when I go on tilt. So we're just trying to avoid that. That's all. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Take it easy.